Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I'm really excited to be filming for you guys today. I figure I want to start with a haul, of course. So I have quite a few palettes that I've been collecting in my absence, so I want to share with you guys what I've been picking up. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the two new Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes that I picked up. I picked up the Prism, as well as the Subculture, of course. This one had so much buzz about it. But I decided, hey, I need to see for myself, so I'm going to pick it up and decide whether or not I like it all on my lonesome. I saw a lot of reviews, but I still am very much a person that needs to touch and feel for myself. Now, I've had really good luck with this Subculture palette. I haven't had any issues with it, blending or otherwise. I'm going to swatch a few of the shades for you. I'm not going to swatch all these because you guys have probably seen this palette to death, but I think it's gorgeous. I mean, look at the pigmentation on that. If you use a light hand and you tap off your brush, this isn't going to give you any issues. I've had literally zero issues with this palette. And I've used it on different skin tones as well. Look at that. I mean, it's gorgeous. I know a lot of people had issue with it, but not me. Beautiful. Look how those mattes are just so pigmented and just so in your face. I love that. Gorgeous. All right, next up, I'm going to show you the Prism palette. Now, I will say about Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, the only thing that I don't like is this velvety like packaging that she uses, just because it gets so dirty. You really have to think about like keeping it clean and being nice to the palette, which I mean, you should be nice to all your palettes, but hell, make it easy to wipe off. Of course, they both come with these little double-ended brushes, which I never use, which is why they're both still wrapped in plastic inside of the palette. This one is gorgeous. Now, lots of different and unique tones in this palette, I would say, because when you look at it, you're going to see lime green, you're going to see like a really pretty retro type of navy blue shade, and then kind of like a dragon type of color right here, like a dragony green, kind of metallic color, but really beautiful. Now, I think there's a huge difference between the Subculture and this one. I'll kind of hold them up side by side so you can see what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people were saying, well, if you have one, you don't need the other. Now, me personally, I don't see these as being remotely close to each other. I mean, yeah, there's a burgundy kind of up at the top and then a chocolate brown down here, but still for me, I don't see that they're that similar to where, I mean, you would be foolish to buy both. I don't think I'm foolish to buy both. But anyway, let me move that Subculture over to the side. So I'm going to swatch a few of these shades for you here out of the Prism palette. Of course, I'm going straight into that lime green called Sphere. Love it. I mean, it's beautiful. Check that out. It's gorgeous. Then Saturn, Throne, Pyramid. I mean, really beautiful color payoff. Pigmentation very intense in this palette. I find the shadows to be very high quality and blend very well for me. And there's just a few swatches on the back of my hand there. And you saw I only did, if you could see, I only do one pass with my finger with my swatches. I don't go back repeatedly and try to build up the color. I just want to make sure you see what it looks like in one swatch. That lime green is so intense and so pretty. I haven't really played with it yet on the eyes, but I definitely will be playing with that very soon. Gorgeous. All right, we've got much more palettes to get to. So next up, I want to show you a couple of eyeshadow palettes that I have from Melt. Now, you know Melt, their eyeshadows come in these little round circular containers. Well, it's not even a container, I guess. It's kind of like these little magnetic little discs, and then they just kind of click together, which I really like. And then the top has a mirror. And I think the packaging is so fun and so unique. Now, this stack right here is, what am I holding? Okay, this is the Haze stack. So we've got 4 different shadows: Bogart, Haze, Ganja, hello girl, Indica, yeah, and then the mirror on the top that says Melt. So let's start with Bogart. Let me give you a swatch of that baby. Let's swatch that one. Ooh. Now these you do need to be careful with. You see that? I mean, they are very rich and creamy and highly pigmented. I should not have swirled my finger in it, and I did swirl my finger in it when I honestly should have just like barely tapped into it. Cause see what I did there? Because they're that creamy and that smooth. I mean, and then look at all the product that's on my finger. Look. Like barely tap into these. Like seriously barely tap into them. Okay. Those melt girls, they know what they're doing over there. Now I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to just do a little swipe like that. And you see that color payoff? And that one little pass of my finger? It's cray cray. Check that out. Have mercy. Swatching that color at the makeup show is what just made me just reach my hands around that palette and say, I must have this and take this home. And that was the shade Haze. Next up we have Ganja, which is this gorgeous, like metallic-y, like old gold, I would say. Just one little swipe of your finger, just barely touch it. And then let me calm some of that down right there. Okay. So literally one swipe. Not wet, not damp, nothing. Just one swipe of a finger. You see how metallic it is? It's almost like it's glowing on my hand. So gorgeous. Okay, so that was Ganja. And then the last shade in the Haze stack. This one is Indica. And it's a really pretty, like true kind of silver, I would say. Okay. I mean, check this out. Like, look at that. Lord have mercy. It's so beautiful. If you need some good metallics in your life, this Melt Haze stack, oh, definitely check it out. These are available on the Melt Cosmetics website. Of course, I picked mine up at the makeup show in Dallas, but you can still get this on their website, I believe. Gorgeous. All right, time to show you stack number 2. Let me get my MAC micellar wipes and clean my hand off here. All right, so the next stack I have to show you guys is the Lovesick stack. So I think this is one of their original ones that they came out with. This I know for sure is available on the website. So we got this gorgeous purple that is called Promiscuous. And then we have a beautiful like peachy shade that is called Amelie. Then I have a matte charcoal, which is called Fixated. And then we have this color, which gives me life, which is Lovesick. Like, hello. Look at this. Ugh. Okay, let's get you some swatches. So, Lovesick. There we are. Lovesick all by its lonesome right there. I mean, do you see the pigmentation on that? Literally one swipe of a finger. Ugh. I love it when the color payoff is intense and you're getting your money's worth. Look at that rich, like charcoal gray. Almost, it's like a charcoal gray that has like a splash of navy in it, if that makes sense. So here is, there we go. Those are both of those. So that was, okay, hold on, girl. Fixated on top and then the Lovesick on the bottom. Okay. Next up, we have Amelie. There she is. It's very much like a peachy gold. Try to turn so you can see. It's a very peachy shade with a hint of like goldeniness to it. Really pretty finish. More satiny, I would say. The Haze stack was more like metallic in your face. I would say this color is more of a satin finish. And then let's get to this gorgeous purple called Promiscuous. Like, hello. That's how you do purple. A lot of brands do not know how to do purple. But Melt, look at that. Gorgeous. If you want a full-on purple that doesn't skip, blends beautifully, good color payoff, there you go. Love this. I love Melt shadows. I definitely want to go check out the website and maybe order a couple other stacks that are available. Maybe that Rust stack. I kind of feel like that Rust stack is calling my name. Even though it's all neutral shades, I mean, you can never have enough neutrals. All right, so next up, I'm going to show you my Viseart palette, or Viseart, however you want to say it. I picked up the dark mattes. This one is just like the palette that was calling my name. I had to have it. These colors are so gorgeous. They're so in my zone. Now, these palettes do not have a mirror in the top, which doesn't bother me in the least because I use my vanity mirror anyway. But I've heard some people say, oh, I wish it had a mirror. Doesn't bother me. I'm all about the quality of these shadows and the blendability. So, let me show you a few swatches here. I mean, look at the color of these mattes. I know Visart just released a Pro palette that has like 30 colors, and I believe it's like $175. You can order it on Muse Beauty Pro. Talk, girl. But I saw that palette. I was drooling when I saw that on Instagram, and Stephanie Nicole was talking about it and interviewing some people from the company. I mean, it was just, I wanted it. I mean, look at that. Gorgeous, very intense color. Oh, my fingers were a little damp, but just beautiful. Let me go over that one more time just because I want it to really be like true. I still had a little bit of micellar water on my fingers from that wet wipe. There we go. I mean, it's so fun to have mattes in an array of colors, colorful mattes. So many companies and brands just don't like make the best formula in a colorful matte, if that makes sense. At least I don't find that they do. I find that the purples or the greens and the navies, they just skip. They don't build on themselves, and these do. These build on themselves so nicely. I have a few other Visart palettes, but this was the one that I was just so excited to get my hands on. I'm just thrilled about having this baby right here in my collection. So, all right, what else do we have here? I picked up another palette at the show. I went a little palette crazy at the makeup show, but I think a lot of people do. This is the Jouer Skinny Dip palette. Now, this was released some time ago, I think like back early summer. I wasn't able to get my hands on it then, but I was able to get my hands on it recently. Beautiful set of metallic shades. Look at that. The palette hopefully is not blinding you. Let me move it around. But it's gorgeous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 shades, so I'm going to swatch every single one of these for you guys. All right, here we go. I mean, these are like, whoa. Like, look at the first 3. Like, check that out. It looks like liquid metal. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, like, this one just looks like aluminum foil. It's crazy. These shades are extremely reflective, so I hope they're showing up true for you guys. They're really, really gorgeous. All right, let's do the last 3 shades in the Skinny Dip palette. All right, Tan Lines, Magic Hour, and Midnight Swim. Hello, check that out. Beautifuls. Okay. You know, when you're doing these swatches and you're wiping your hands constantly, I gotta like be really careful that I'm showing you true swatches. There we go. So they've got some deeper metallics, which is really, really nice. Everything is not just super gold or silver. Like, you've got some deeper tones. You can see when I wiped, that glitter kind of like went everywhere, but that's okay. All right, so that was the Jouer Skinny Dip palette. Let me get a fresh wet wipe here, and then I'm gonna like wipe my hand off and actually dry it off this time. I gotta say, like, I'm obsessed with these MAC micellar wipes though. They clean all your makeup off like 100%. And it's really nice that you can use them around the eye area and they don't give you like that burning sensation like some wipes do. These are very safe for your entire face. Love it. Okay, so I picked up the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I actually snagged this baby at Ulta. I figured why not? I saw that they had a restock on it, so I thought I'd treat myself to this and add it to my Urban Decay Naked collection. I'm going to tilt it back like this because I don't want that mirror to blind you guys. But really beautiful shades, yet again, just like the Anastasia palettes, Urban Decay puts these little palettes, brushes in their palettes as well. I don't typically use those either. I just kind of leave them in there because I have favorite brushes that I love and use every day, but I'll just give you a few swatches of these. I'm loving the warm tones in this palette because I'm a warm toned kind of girl. Look at that. This one is like really pretty. What is that called? That is Ashes. Oh, I love it. Okay, let me swatch these on the back of my hand right quick. I really like this formula. I feel like Urban did a little something different with these. Look at that. I mean, that is really, really beautiful. The color payoff is nice. And I can say honestly with this Naked Heat palette, I've had it long enough that I've used almost every single shade in the palette, and I haven't been disappointed in any of the colors. All right. What other palettes do I have here? Okay, I have a couple of NYX palettes to show you guys. I picked these up at Ulta as well. They did have a buy one, get one half off sale, I believe it was, on NYX. So that's when I figured I'd go ahead and invest in these. I've got the Earth and the Fire. Now these I did find were a little on the expensive side for NYX because they were $30 each. And I was kind of like, hey, NYX, you're tripping. But since it was buy one, get one half, and I also had a coupon, I went ahead and picked up these two palettes. But if it wasn't for that, as much as I love them, and I think the pigmentation is great, I was concerned about that price point with NYX. I don't know if we're going to see more of this in the future, of that higher price point or what. I guess time will tell. But what really got me about this palette was these three shades right here. These three mattes. This is how they got me. And at my local Ulta, this Fire palette was the last one they had in stock. So I figured, go ahead and grab it, girl, before it's gone, and then you'll kind of be pissed off that you didn't get it. So I got it. So there are those three just kind of lightly swatched on the back of my hand. That red is so vibrant and so intense. I actually have some of that blended through my crease right now. I actually have this palette on. I have quite a few of these shades on. I've got on this one, the red, the orange over here. So I've got on quite a few shades from this palette. It's really nice. It blends really, really well. And the metallic shades in it are really beautiful too. Like there's a gorgeous metallic shade from it right there. Let me actually swatch that on my hand so you can see it. It's a pretty little duochrome shade down there on the bottom. Let me see, do these have individual names? No, they don't have names, they just have numbers. They just have them numbered 1 through 12, which is fine with me. But gorgeous. But that red, when you see the red in person, that's the one that kind of makes you go, oh Lord, let me buy that palette. But for a matte, for mattes, they blend really, really nicely from NYX. So I was very pleased with the Fire palette. I also have the Earth palette, which is the other one that intrigued me. Let me get this sucker open. I'll tell you this, they snap shut pretty tight. Okay, I don't think you have to worry about these popping open in your suitcase. So this Earth palette is gorgeous. I do think it is really nice, rich, earthy tones, but they threw in kind of like some extra little fun shades. So let's see, let me give you a few swatches here so you can see what I'm talking about. And then let's get over here in this baby. And let's do down to the pinky finger. Okay. Oh, but look at that. Oh, Lord. Look, they're so pretty. They're really gorgeous. Beautiful. So there are just a few shades from the Earth palette. I will say, yeah, granted, the $30 is a bit much, but I think they kicked up their game a notch on these palettes. Which is why we're seeing those price points go up. But really, I mean, beautiful, really, really beautiful palette. I've used the Earth and the Fire. I'm enjoying them both quite a bit. So, I don't feel like I picked up any duds. I feel like I'm really happy with all the selections that I made. I'm very picky about how I spend my money, especially when it comes to makeup. So I'm really pleased with everything that I chose. I'm very finicky. And then the last thing I picked up was this one, the Just Peachy Mattes from Too Faced. I never bought the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette because that just wasn't my jam. The colors were pretty and everything, but I just kind of felt like people are gonna want to crucify me for this, but I thought it was blah. I just was like, it's just another run-of-the-mill palette. I don't see what the big appeal is. I never saw what the hype was. I didn't get it. But this one appealed to me. I think the packaging was a little bit more on the classy side. And then I liked the nice big mirror inside the palette. I liked how hard and sturdy the plastic was. And I loved the shades in the palette. I think they're just really, really gorgeous, rich, creamy matte shades. I do think that Too Faced matte shadow formula is one of the best out there. They make a great matte shadow. They really, really do. And some of these shades just really appeal to me. When I see a palette and I look at it and I say, you know what, I can use every single shade in that palette. I'll hit pan on everything. To me, that's a good investment. So that's part of the reason why this caught my eye too. Let's swatch this one as well. Okay, here we go. I've used this oh so many times. I mean, beautiful mattes. Check that out. Just really beautiful, rich, creamy matte shades. Every single shade completely usable. You will hit pan on these. Great everyday palette for work. Deep enough shades for nighttime. I mean, look, really, really pretty. They blend nice. They build on each other with no problems, no skipping. Didn't have a ton of fallout with these. I would say, nope, not a ton of fallout at all. This is a palette. I always tap my brush off though, so fallout is usually not a huge issue for me. But even if you don't tap your brush off with these, you're fine. And I'll say, I like the smell. I think it smells nice. It's got just a little hint of peach. It's not super overpowering. Let me sniff it right quick. Yeah, just a hint of peach. It doesn't smell like sickeningly sweet like some of them do. No, it's just a hint. But look at the colors. They're gorgeous. To me, out of that whole collection that launched, this was like the only piece that really just like grabbed at me. The lipsticks were cute and everything, but just not something that I needed. But this palette, of course, I felt like I needed it, so I got it. But you know what, guys? That's it for my new palette haul. I thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope the swatches were helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.